you're gonna see me in like the same 4 shirts this month because I don't have any Halloween shirts. This is not one of them. Also.
You are failing at life.
I don't do themed holiday shirts if I can't wear them all year long. Like,
oh, I just do wear these all year round.
I
had a shirt that had Casper on it that I got like
Casper's
super cheap after Halloween at Walgreens, but it's specifically like it was a specific Halloween phrase. I don't remember exactly what it said, but it was something about like Happy Halloween. I wore that shirt like all the time. So.
Welcome to Converse-ations. I kick. Really, we should be doing a Mean Girls video today. It's Nightmare Before Christmas week.
Because Nightmare Before Christmas is turning 25 this year, and that's a way more interesting anniversary.
It's old. Today's conversation is going to be a little bit about the history and development of The Nightmare Before Christmas. Nightmare Before Christmas was written as a poem by Tim Burton in 1982.
It was inspired by the fact that he was seeing store displays that had both Christmas and Halloween decorations in them simultaneously, and the idea that these two things that are so completely different that were then being crammed into the same space. It was the juxtaposition of the bright and cheerful Christmas and the dark and edgy Halloween.
So this poem was written while Tim Burton was an animator at Disney. He was working on, I think he was originally set to be the director of, I don't know if it was the director or the writer for Fox and the Hound.
He was in, I know he was involved.
He was involved with Fox and the Hound, and he ended up surprised. It's Tim Burton. He ended up making it way too dark and scary, so Disney was like, I don't think you should have this right now.
Just kidding.
But, you know, Tim Burton's known for a wide variety of movies. So yeah, after Tim Burton left Disney, he did Beetlejuice, he did Edward Scissorhands,
Batman.
He did Batman. There was a wide variety of projects.
So when Nightmare Before Christmas was in development, they were originally developing it to be an animated feature under the Disney banner. As it got further and further into development, suddenly executives at Disney went, oh, this is dark and scary. I don't know that I want the Disney feature animation logo on this because it was considered... It's significantly darker than the other Disney fare. I think the only thing that would even come close is Black Cauldron. And Black Cauldron bombed at the box office. So they went, that makes me nervous. So they said, just kidding. We have this newer label called Touchstone. The first film under Touchstone was Splash. And
it's just one of the things that's just a random fact that's stuck into all of our minds at this point. So
they decided to release it as a Touchstone film. There are still elements of it that were animated by the Disney animation team, the Disney feature animation team. Specifically, if you look at the opening sequence, the ghosts that like rise up, that's all straight from the Disney animation team. However, what most people don't realize is The Nightmare Before Christmas was not directed by Tim Burton.
Correct. It was just inspired by his story. He wrote the screenplay?
He wrote the original story, and he was producer, but he was not director. The director was Henry Selick. Henry Selick went on to do a lot of other stop-motion animation projects, and it's funny because when James the Giant Peach came out, it was from the director of Nightmare Before Christmas, and everybody went, Tim Burton, and it was like, no, but they were banking on that, which is why they always just said, from the director of, and they never even said Henry Selick's name. Which is a whole different underhanded marketing technique, but like whatever. So Nightmare Before Christmas came out in 1993, and really, I mean, it didn't bomb the way other movies did, but like it wasn't a runaway. It wasn't the success that it is now.
One of 3 options. Either your movie is super successful right at the beginning, it's super unsuccessful at the beginning, and it remains unsuccessful, and kind of has like Black Cauldron. I don't think there's anybody that says Black Cauldron is their favorite movie. It's a decent movie, but like it's not. Nobody says it's their favorite. It's just kind of like on the low ground. Then you have movies that did okay at the beginning, or not too good, like made their money back and then kind of moved on, and then gained a cult following afterwards. And The Nightmare Before Christmas, Hocus Pocus, there are a lot of movies in that category that really fit that.
There's a lot of movies where it came out and made a huge impression on the kids of that age, and then as they've gotten older and have the ability to spend money on merchandise and events and things, the love of this movie is coming forward, and everybody's like, this is super cool.
I think part of the resurgence of popularity was in 2006. Disney started slowly like re-releasing some films in theaters, which is what they used to do, like back in the forever before VHS and DVD and all of that.
Really up through the 90s,
yeah.
early 90s.
So then
it switched.
So once they said Nightmare Before Christmas is coming back into theaters in 3D, people lost their minds.
Yeah.
And I think that's really when the resurgence just like took off for Nightmare.
Now, my mom loved it from the second that it came out. I saw it when I was very, very little. Made a bit of an impression on me. It was the first DVD my mom purchased, and we didn't own a DVD player yet. She bought it, so she had it, knowing at some point we would get a DVD player, but we owned it before we owned a DVD player. And initially, when like the Disney pins and the pin trading started up at the park, she collected Jack pins, and then it went from being this thing that nobody really talked about to like skyrocketing in its popularity. And she was like, "Nope, too many pins, can't keep up. I'm out." Highly merchandisable.
Well, especially when you can put it out in the end of August and you have Halloween and Christmas merchandise.
Yeah.
You hit the two big holidays that are...
It's got basic color scheme.
Yeah.
It's got easy shapes. It's got appeal to a broad audience. You can look at Jack and say, "Oh, I get that that's a Halloween thing," without having any knowledge of the character. They're easy to read. And the parks have really embraced Nightmare.
Well, that's another topic that I want to discuss is what it's taken a while for Disney parks to really implement the characters into the parks. I mean, starting with the Haunted Mansion Holiday at Disneyland, which that's going to be our discussion video, our Twin Ventures video for Friday. So there you go. That's what we're going to talk about now. But then there's, they started to do more character interactions. So you have Jack and Sally doing meet and greets. Now Oogie Boogie's in a lot of the shows, which you didn't get until within the last, 5 years?
Yeah, and not all. So Oogie Boogie is
also an incredible
kind of terrifying. The show that is currently running at Walt Disney World for the Halloween parties, the Hocus Pocus Villains Spelltacular, Oogie Boogie is in it, and Oogie Boogie is now an articulated character, meaning he's able to open and close his mouth on stage, which is just another level of terrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, the articulated characters scared me enough to begin with, but like Oogie articulated is like, whoa. He also got a show for one night at Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, because he got the
again, he's easy to write for. He's a very distinct character archetype.
And Ken Page does a phenomenal job with the voice.
The
voice cast for the entire movie.
Oh my god, all of Nightmare is just so good.
The other thing is one thing that people really connect with this movie and this film is the music, which is why now we're doing these live concerts with Danny Elfman and the voice cast are coming back to do the songs and everything. You have Catherine O'Hara and Paul Rubens. I was like, Paul Frees. Nope, Paul Rubens.
My mom loved Danny Elfman's music from when she was in high school. So, of course, when this movie came out, that was part of the appeal for her, was the Danny Elfman music, and we sang these songs all the time when I was a kid. Like, I knew all of the words to all of these songs growing up. That was just kind of accepted. So Danny Elfman music, Danny Elfman was the first composer I was able to listen to a piece of music I had not heard before and say, that's a Danny Elfman piece, and be completely correct. And it's hard for me to sum up what it is, but I can say I can hear a piece of music and be like, it's an Elfman piece. There's an intangible quality. Also, a lot of sleigh bells. I have not figured that one out yet. Sleigh bells and choral voices.
Yeah, choral voices.
You start to see these. You start to see patterns.
What I appreciate about this movie is it really fits the animation style of the Rankin Bass stop motion, which is why it fits so well as a Christmas movie as well as a Halloween movie, because there's something slightly off about stop motion, which is why it works for stuff like Frankenweenie and Corpse Bride and Coraline and James and the Giant Peach, and it has that slightly something off about it, but it also fits the tone of what the original Rankin Bass animation was.
Yeah.
So it really...
It's edging up on the uncanny valley for you, in that it's something that seems alive that should not seem alive.
Yeah.
Your brain is able to look at that and say, that is an inanimate object, but it is moving and it has been brought to life, which really, really applies very well to this story and to this setting. And honestly, Nightmare was such a game changer for stop motion, because you really don't see stop motion used for bright and cheerful stories anymore. Like Nightmare really connected stop motion with darker and creepier for people.
Yeah.
And it's something that honestly really hasn't been broken. Leica has gotten close with a couple of their titles. Like Kubo is obviously somewhat brighter, but it has some real dark moments. But you see, and they tried to branch away from the scary in James the Giant Peach, and then the darker, scarier sequences were by far the best in the entire film.
Didn't make any sense, but there's a whole separate discussion.
Put that over there. But for people now, like when you think of stop motion, Nightmare is the first thing that they think of, like without fail. And the popular and the successful stop motion movies that have come out since then, like particularly Coraline comes to mind, is people then read a story like Coraline and say, this is suited to stop motion.
Yep. Exactly. Well, I don't think Nightmare's going anywhere. It's 25 years now. I mean, obviously it's been around way longer than that. 30-something years, because the poem came out in 82. Like, it's been around forever. It's gonna keep going.
And the earlier Christmas creeps, the more relevant Nightmare feels.
Yeah.
Because Christmas has continued that creep forward, but like Halloween holds the line.
Yeah.
It holds the line.
Which is good.
Forget Thanksgiving.
Nobody ever remembers Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving isn't about merchandise.
No.
So the stores don't care.
Yeah.
Grocery stores care. No one else cares.
I like food. Also, it's a very specifically American holiday.
Yes.
Because
Halloween's not super big outside of the U.S. embraces Halloween to a far further extent than anyone else does. It's becoming more popular other places, but like that really is that it's more of an American thing. Halloween is also a younger holiday in the way that we celebrate it. There are a lot of things
like with trick-or-treating, and I hit a certain age and like that's it.
Well, no, I mean like trick-or-treating became a thing in the 40s and 50s. Like this doesn't have the same in-depth levels of traditions that something like Christmas has.
Well, thanks for watching this conversation. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to our channel, hit the ding-a-ling notification button, like our Facebook page. We also have our Patreon page.
The first Patreon exclusive video went live yesterday, so we have an exclusive series. If you opt for the top tier on Patreon, which is the Lit tier on our page, you get an exclusive web series, Lit for Lit, where we drink things and we discuss literature. I use literature in the loosest sense of the term. We are starting with Twilight, so if you ever have wanted to know what Eric's thought process is on Twilight without him having any prior knowledge of it beyond general pop culture awareness, get ready. His commentary on Twilight it's something.
It's very special.
It's something.
Thank you again for watching. Thank you for all of your support. And we will see you tomorrow with another video.
Yep.
Every day.
Keep doing Nightmare Before Christmas week. Woo! In high school, one of my teachers gave me a nickname. He said I was bright goth, in that I wore all black clothing and smiled and was cheerful to everyone.